my girl. So, despite my back, we are going to try and make it to Lake Michigan, to the overlook on the back trails of Cliffside. Welcome to week 2. I just started the meds for my back this morning, so I've been living with this thing for a couple months now, so I don't know. We're gonna just have to see how this thing plays out. But today's been a good day. I actually went to the dump station, and Eva was her usual good self in the truck, and got that out of the way. There may be some rain tomorrow. Not entirely sure at this point. Sorry about the camera. I was gonna bring the stick along, but I forgot. She's got to smell everything. So anyway, hopefully in a couple minutes I'll be able to add a couple pictures here of Eva at Lake Michigan. So time will tell. Let's hope we get back this time without any ticks, because I had a tick on my leg last time. Come on. I don't want you in that. Gives you an idea what the trail's like. This is probably the best condition of the trail. There's many other ones back here that are not in this good a shape. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is, I think, day number 10 of our 14-day stay here at Cliffside Park. So, yesterday, as I mentioned, there was a big storm coming in, and I wasn't sure exactly how, what we were going to do, if that was going to be like a no-go for getting together with Jeff and Corinne. But fortunately, up here in Caledonia, the storm basically skirted to the south of us. So about 11 o'clock, 11:15, I guess, I felt pretty good leaving Eva in the trailer and heading over to Bristol to see Jeff and Corinne and head on over to this. Interesting. I've been to the Bristol Renaissance Fair a number of times, going back as far as I think around 1990 maybe, 91. We went with the kids when they were real little, and Jeff was like, the only thing he could remember is how unbelievably hot it was. And that's kind of been because of the time frame that they run that Renaissance Fair in. It always seems to be hot. I'm always looking for shade. But as Corinne says, it's great people watching. And it is, because, man, I'll tell you what, a lot of the people that go there, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there, they come fully dressed in their Renaissance clothing. It's very interesting. And that's probably all I really need to say about it. If you've never been to one, it's probably worth going to, just so you can see what it's all about. But they've got, I'll tell you one thing, the food there is super expensive, but really, really good. And there's, of course, all kinds of things that are going on. There's a guy with a whip, and he's doing all kinds of tricks and stuff. So, but I mean, there's more than that. I think there's jousting on one end of the place, and it is a huge, huge, huge place. A lot larger than it was when we first went. So, I'll tell you what, it's just very interesting. So we were there probably about maybe 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours. But I'll tell you what, it was wet there. When I was on the way to Jeff and Corinne's and I left here, and that I ran into that storm, and it was almost a dead stop on the interstate. And that always makes me a little bit nervous because you're always worried about who's going to come up behind you too fast and maybe rear end you. But fortunately, cooler heads prevailed and people took it easy. So that was good. And it was still raining when we got there, but not very bad. We got a little bit of rain during it, but I mean, just sprinkles for, 30 seconds to a minute. So it was not a big deal. And then the sun came out, and then it was hot and humid. But that was towards the tail end. But it was a good time. We had a good time. And then we headed back, and Tammy and I came up to the trailer, and I got Eva out, and she was a very good girl. I mean, she's a very good girl, despite her shortcomings. She's usually a very good girl. Most affectionate shepherd we ever had, that's for sure. But I'll tell you what, she's mischievous, and she's smart, and so she's sneaky. And like, she knows she shouldn't go up on the furniture in here, and that's why I've got this stuff on, because this is all new furniture, because that first stuff that we had that came from the factory all peeled. And I definitely don't want her getting up on the furniture in here and scratching it or any of that. So, but the minute that I'm out of sight, man, guess where she goes? And no matter how many times I tell her that's wrong and no, it's like telling her a word that doesn't mean anything, because it just doesn't. I think it sinks in because she's sneaky. But other than that, kind of had realized after 5 years of living with a mischievous pup that that's just the way she is. But the good definitely outweighs the bad, and she's our fifth shepherd. And of course, we love her just like you love your naughty kids. So anyway, that's kind of it. Today I'm heading back over to Corinne and Jeff's for a couple hours, and then it's kind of getting ready to wind down and get out of here and start heading over to Dodge City. So yesterday I felt pretty good. I went out and I decided, while I'm feeling good, I better start packing some stuff up, especially because I thought that storm was coming. So I packed up the Blackstone, and I've got a large Blackstone, and that thing is so heavy. And I have a bag for it, but I don't put it all together in the bag. I keep the cast iron parts separate, because if I were to, lifting the stand and the hood part in that bag is heavy enough for me. I think that I weighed that at home, and it was like 37 pounds. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot of weight, and it probably wouldn't be if it wasn't so awkward, but that bag is like huge and like that. And then it's got two straps that come up. And so it is really, it's kind of a pain to handle. Really thinking that if I stay taking the griddle with me, that I should probably step down to something smaller and a little more manageable, and less weight, because weight matters when you're towing. And not that it would be that big of a difference, but every pound matters. So I got that all packed up. I'm leaving the grill out because I do some grilling, but by Wednesday I want to be packed up, so we're out of here early Thursday, because we got about a 6-hour ride ahead of us, and that's longer than I usually like to go, especially with Eva, because you can figure at just about every fuel stop you're going to be getting her out and letting her walk around for a little bit, do her business, and then back on the road. So if anything else happens in between now and then, which it probably will, I'll be back to talk about it. It's crazy hair day. It's about 6:15 in the morning. We're out for one of our walks. We're always up early. We're out at 3:30 this morning. I have to say I'm a little bit concerned with what I'm seeing in the weather forecast for our next stop, which is Des Moines, Iowa. I'll let this truck go by. And I think you guys are all probably watching the weather where you're at. This this is like week 4 of our travels. And beyond this heat wave that's going to hit almost all of the United States, they're predicting some really severe weather for Des Moines the day we roll in there. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, and then decide whether we're going to change our travel plans or not. And if I change them from Des Moines, then I'm thinking if it's that bad, maybe it's time to just head home. I don't know. I really do want to get to Dodge City. But, you know, 2 days out right now still looks ugly. Looks pretty ugly for the northern part of Wisconsin then too. Fortunately, we're in southern Wisconsin, so that's not really a concern for me. They are supposed to get rain and thunderstorms the afternoon that we leave, so the morning looks good and clear. And if we do stay on our plan to get to Des Moines, that's going to be at least a 6-hour drive for us. And my guess is it'll probably be closer to 7 with Eva. And plus we're doing something we've never done before, which is we have 2 vehicles. We've got my truck, the trailer, and then Tammy's following in her vehicle. So it'll complicate things a little bit. Won't be a big deal, but you know, we'll see how that plays out. So we got 2 full days left here, and then Thursday it's out. Let's see where this whole thing goes. I'm always a little leery of the weather for a number of reasons. One, I worry about Eva and how she'll react to it. And secondly, I don't like to be in that kind of weather in the travel trailer unless it's absolutely necessary. I'd just soon wait it out. But there's no waiting it out here either from the looks of it. So we'll just have to see how those weather patterns develop and what it means for our trip. So I'll let you guys know in the next update what's going on. Hey everybody, so this will be my last post from Cliffside Park, and I am at the Overlook. Sorry about my glasses. A little bit hot and sweaty. It's a hot day. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to Dodge City. We have severe thunderstorms that are going to be in Kansas at the campground we wanted to stay at, and it's going to be a nightmare. So we are kind of backtracking the way we came. We're going to leave the same day we planned on, and then we'll be home obviously quite a bit earlier than we expected. But better to run from the storms than to be part of the storms. That's how I feel about it. And Eva's enjoying her last day here at the Overlook. I'm so happy we were able to come here and get some pictures of her. So anyway, that's kind of it. I don't really have anything else to add that you haven't already heard. So I guess with that, we'll sign off from beautiful Cliffside Park in Racine County, Wisconsin. And I've got some other stuff that'll be dropping shortly after this video drops. And I have a lot to do, so I do need to replace the brakes on the trailer. I am going to take a more, I guess, harsh look at the springs, although I think they're fine. But once I have all that stuff apart, it's very easy to look at it. There's always something to do on the trailer. Anyway, that's it. Right, so the trip home was very interesting because it seemed like we could not get one leg of the journey done from campground to campground without witnessing some sort of a horrific accident on the highway. I don't know, it seems to me that people are just flying by way too fast and they're riding up on people, and a lot of problems that I have on the highway are primarily people cutting me off or riding on my back end. So, you know, allow plenty of room when you're passing. That's something that doesn't seem to happen anymore, and it wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't the cause of a couple of those accidents on the way back. Okay, despite that, there wasn't really anything eventful that happened on the way home other than it was really, really hot. And when we left Cliffside, remember I had talked about how the weather had changed and we were going to change our travel plans. Well, we looked to the west towards Iowa as we were heading down into Illinois, man, it was dark. I mean, it was just very dark. And the storms predicted out there for, Des Moines, Iowa, and going even a day later to Topeka was bleak. And I just didn't see the sense in it. There just was no sense in trying to see if we could weather a storm or two to get to Dodge City. And even once we got to Dodge City, I mean, the temperatures, as it is across the country right now, we're all triple digit, and which would have probably required that we just stay in the trailer anyway, or, I think it was going to be pretty unbearably hot there. Now, one thing that did happen on the way home at the last 3 campgrounds was the air conditioner in the main cabin struggled to get down to about 83 degrees, and then it kind of, all of a sudden it would start ticking up again. And I wouldn't hear the compressor running, and I could tell when I would reach up and put my hand at one of the vents that it was just circulating the air, and then a little while later it would kick in again. So we started running 2 air conditioners. Now, it didn't struggle later on when the temperature got down. So my thought was, this is a weak capacitor now that we're having issues with. And when I got back, I have a good friend, Scott, who's an AC guy, and he said basically the same thing. Your capacitor is probably shot. It's probably weak. It's cycling off, which is what it was doing. So I put a new capacitor in, and I had left the travel trailer out in the driveway, and once it got to about 94 degrees, which was kind of typical for our stops on the way back, I turned it on with the new capacitor, and that thing did a really good job, and within an hour it was down to, I think it was at about 78. So I felt really good about it. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else with the trailer that I could really speak to at this point. Other than that mysterious leaking sink, that we had going back a couple of years, and it kept presenting itself again. And last year I did the plumbing on it. I replumbed it, and not a drop. So took the tin pan out. I'm not going to need that anymore. If it was going to leak, believe me, over the course of the last month, it would have leaked. That's for sure. So coming up beyond this trip, we will have another trip here in the fall. We haven't decided quite where we're going to go yet, but I will let you guys know. And then we're debating about whether we're going to take a road trip in just one of the vehicles up to Wisconsin for Christmas, and then try and, get back down here for New Year's to a state park, or whether we're going to stay up there for New Year's if we can somehow find a quiet spot for Eva. Because up there, if we were to stay with Jeff and Corinne, I think they've got a neighbor that likes to shoot off fireworks, and that's not going to go over well with her. So we're kind of playing that back and forth, seeing, talking about what we might or might not do. So anyway, that's kind of it for now. Stay tuned for other videos that are going to drop, which will revolve around, replacing the brakes and things like that. The Caso camera was great. As you saw the tour of the campground at Cliffside, it does a really nice job, so I'm really looking forward to using that on some of the repairs around the trailer. So I think that kind of sums everything up on that trip. It was about 2,500 miles, I think, maybe a little over that, round trip for me. I did use the EFS card, and I'm going to do a video shortly on, what that total cost was for me as far as savings using that card. And other than that, until next time, happy camping.